And as we've been reporting, the plane went down near Ukraine's border with Russia, where a pro-Russia insurgency has been raging. Our Tom Barton joins us live from Moscow. And Tom, what's been the reaction coming out of Moscow?
Well, after an initial period of silence, followed by an expression of condolences from Russian President Vladimir Putin, there seems to have been a more defiant tone struck from the Russian capital, most likely in response to those accusations coming out of Kiev and some accusations of Moscow's own as well. Russia's defense ministry, the same defense ministry that Kiev says is orchestrating through its intelligence service, the GRU, this very attack. The defense ministry says that it does not believe that Ukraine's military was not responsible for this attack. And President Vladimir Putin himself later on saying more indirectly that he thinks Ukraine is responsible. He says that by continuing those military operations against separatists in the east of the country, that Ukraine, in his view, has created the situation that has led to this plane most likely being shot down.
I want to note that this tragedy would not have happened if there were peace in this land, if the military actions had not been renewed in southeast Ukraine. And certainly the state over whose territory this occurred bears responsibility for this awful tragedy.
So Russia more defiant. We also have leaders on the ground in the east of Ukraine as well saying that as far as they're concerned, they don't have the technical capacity to shoot down a jetliner at this altitude, something which Kiev rejects.
And Tom, you know, a lot of finger pointing you've been talking about. We did hear from Vladimir Putin, as you mentioned, but what are Russian authorities responding to, or what are they hinting at, the reasoning behind this plane going down?
Well, there are an awful lot of rumours and conjecture flying around about this case. First of all, surrounding the black boxes in the plane itself. One of those reportedly, very hard to confirm because it's rebel territory out there in the east, that perhaps those pro-Russian rebels have seized one of those black box flight recorders and have sent it back to Moscow, reportedly because they only trust the Russians to give it a proper look at, something which Kiev disputes, and the accusations coming from the Ukrainian side partly. And then we've also got the controversy about the route of the jetliner as well. Very hard to confirm, only really the state-run RT news service saying it, but there is a possibility, they say, that that jetliner flying on the same route that Vladimir Putin may have been taking back from Brazil. Was it, they ask, potential that Vladimir Putin himself was the target? Well, a lot of rumour, a lot of conjecture, and nearly impossible to say that at the moment, or to exactly establish what had happened in this very violent vacuum of information in that part of the world.
All right, Tom Barton, thank you for that from Moscow.